This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and Gabe, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Gianna. I'm excited.
Of course, we're excited to get to know all about you. So take us to the beginning. Who is Gabe? Where are you from? What market are you in now? And how did you find yourself in real estate?
So I'm from Orange County, California. So if you know California but don't know very well, you hear about San Diego and you hear about LA. Orange County is about directly in the middle. So we're about an hour south of LA, and got into real estate 20 years ago, and I'm 41 now. So I got in right out of college. I knew I always loved real estate. Even from when I was younger, I was kind of one of those weird kids that liked going to model homes with their parents. So I was really interested in it early on. And when I went to college, I actually focused on real estate finance and development my senior year at USC. And then I decided to actually jump into it right out of college. So really kind of just jumped in as a rookie at 21 years old, and had a great mentor that taught me the ropes and taught me what to do, and kind of just hit the ground running and went from there.
Yeah, so you saw the industry, you liked it, you're like, hey, this is something I could see myself doing. There's money to be made here, there's a demand here. So obviously then you didn't start at EXP, did you start at a different brokerage? How did EXP present itself to you?
Yeah, no, I've been with a couple of the different kind of main national brokerages that you can think of. I was, with Berkshire Hathaway. I've been with Coldwell Banker, and recently, before I joined EXP, I was with Compass, which is a luxury brokerage. So I am in a luxury market here in coastal Orange County, and EXP presented itself a couple of years ago. Probably a couple of years before I actually ended up joining. And I thought that it probably wasn't going to be for me because I felt like because of my market area and because of the high-end properties that we sell here, people really weren't familiar with EXP, and I felt like I needed like the luxury brand of a well-known brokerage behind me.
Sure.
And so it took me about a year of saying no to EXP before I kind of realized that the clients that I work with, we are the brand, right? And I tell this to a lot of agents as well. Like they're not hiring you because you're with, Coldwell Banker or you're with Compass or you're with EXP.
No, not at all.
Because of what you bring to the table, as well as, what you're willing to do for them. And, if they feel like you're going to take good care of them and do a professional job for them. So, I realized that was kind of just like a voice in the back of my head that I, had to kind of shake away, and I'm really glad that I did. And I joined EXP 1 year ago in January.
Oh, well, congratulations on your 1 year with EXP. We're glad when you finally made the jump, and I'm sure you're glad too. Like you said, when people are looking to buy a home, there's so much going on. They're trying to drink water out of a fire hose, and to pay attention to your brokerage, I'll be honest, like looking from the outside in, we don't even know what a brokerage is. What's a brokerage? I thought you were with a real estate office. Oh, yeah. They're the same thing. Oh, I had no idea. I mean, it's not our industry, so people don't focus on that stuff. So that's great that you were able to bring your brand over to EXP and, scale up from there. So you like that about EXP, they're reputable. You finally made the move. So what keeps you at EXP? What makes Gabe say, I never want to leave this place?
Yeah. So I think that, there's a couple of different things that come to the top of my list, but one of the first ones that got me to look closer at EXP was the capped commission structure. So, at my previous brokers, I was always used to paying, which is crazy to even say it, but I just got used to it. I was paying 6 figures a year to hang my license with those companies. So what I realized was, I could put that money back into my business and help me scale and grow a lot quicker rather than putting it into my broker's pockets, so to speak. So, the $16,000 cap was huge for me, and I knew I wanted to grow a team. So that allowed me to also get more competitive and allow the agents on my team to make more without having that constant split. No matter how much you make, the 15 or 20% never goes away from a lot of these big companies. So I would say that that's one of the major contributors. But beyond that, the revenue share component, I'm not only building my own personal team here in Orange County, but I'm also building my EXP organization, around the country. And I should actually say, around the world, because I do have someone I've recently sponsored in Canada as well, which is pretty tremendous.
Yeah,
so it allows
awesome.
me the opportunity to coach. It allows me the opportunity to kind of share with other agents what I've learned and how I've grown my team and how I continue to grow my business, and allows for an additional revenue stream that, otherwise is not available at any other brokerage, which is pretty
You're right. You're so right. And like that cap coming back to you, a lot of real estate agents don't have a 401k. It's just unheard of, but you can use that stock as one, a nice little nest egg for the future. There's so many options that you can use the assets here at EXP for, and it really, makes the future bright. Like you said, we're growing really fast. An international team is an option here. Like you said, you're in Canada. I think we're in Australia, Iceland. Is it Greenland? I don't know, but we're in a lot of really unique countries. We're growing rapidly, and talk about, having a tool in every area where you can make referrals and, see people coming in and so much more. So that's a great asset that EXP has to offer to its agents, and they really like to put their agents first.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that another one, if I'm still listing them off, would be the collaboration amongst agents.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like nothing that I've ever seen before. I've come with companies where agents would definitely still share with each other kind of what they're doing, but no one would really dive in deep and give you their playbooks, right? So they're, part of the way that I've, grown my team so rapidly, because what happened with me was I was, a 2-agent team at my prior brokerage, and now we've got 10 agents on the local team, right? And that happened in 1 year, and we actually doubled our production. So we went from a little under 40 million in 2020 to 80 million in 2021. And a lot of that was because, EXP is such a great organization to help you build your team. And when you're collaborating with other agents that have done the same thing and they've come before you and they're willing to share with you what they've done and how they've learned, and then I'm able to do the same thing for the people that, want to learn from me or, join my organization. I can teach them everything that we do. And literally, it's not just like, here, we did this. It's like diving into their business and like, coaching them and sharing with them exactly what worked for me and what hasn't worked.
No, totally. And, that mentorship is so important, and being able to give back to the EXP community in that way to, here's my mistakes, learn from them. Oh, you want to be a competitor with me? Come and get me. Here are some of my secrets. Here's how you can improve. It's been a great asset to EXP to not hold those secrets to their chest, but to instead share them with the community, because a rising tide raises all ships, and EXP loves to live by that. And, speaking of staying busy and having a lot to do, mentees, mentors, selling houses, everything in between. How do you make sure to take care of Gabe? How do you make sure you're not on burnout mode and, you're trying to keep that life at a work-life balance?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because, balancing all of those things you mentioned, and I've got a wife and 3 kids, right? So it's really hard to find, time for you when you've got any extra time that's devoted to your family and your kids, right? But
Right.
I think for me, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to grow a team, is because when I first got in this business, and I did it for several years, it was, working basically 6 to 6.5 days a week. I would try to take one day off that ended up being like a half day in the middle of the week, and I would work every Saturday and Sunday, either doing open houses or showing homes to buyers.
Yeah.
And when you build up your craft for long enough and you get to the point where you can teach other people to do that, do I still work some weekends now? Yes, but I like to be more strategic about it, and I'm not working as much on the weekends as I used to. And now I have other agents on my team that if I have a buyer that is looking on the weekend, like I can share that lead with a agent on my team, and they can help out. So I think that's probably how I've become more diversified and been able to leverage a little bit more, and get a little bit more time for personal and myself and my family.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, and being able to leverage that out and be your best self facing your clients and, with your mentees, your mentors, you want to make sure that you find what recharges you so that you can put out your best foot, your best performance, and everything in between there. So, Gabe, when it comes to being new to the real estate industry, we're about to go into, how you got your Icon Award. But for somebody that's new to it, how would they aspire for this Icon Award? Is this something achievable in their first year? Are there steps in the process that you took to obtaining that Icon Award? Whether they're new to EXP, it's their first year, or they're new to EXP and the real estate world in general. What's some advice for the newbies?
Yeah, so I think advice for new people is you have to put yourself out there in multiple different venues, right? And so there's some people that concentrate on social media, and there's some people that concentrate on cold calling and maybe open house or door knocking. I'm kind of a big advocate on finding what works for you and what resonates with your personality, but at the same time, you have to get into massive action. I think that's number one. You always have to be doing something to generate new business. So for me, getting started, I literally would door knock every day of the week and then do open houses on the weekend. Now that might seem old school today, but people still build their businesses by doing that,
Right.
And then you can complement that with social media strategy and putting out content and being on Instagram and social media and creating a YouTube channel. But I think it's like you need to pick your segments and then time block your day of what you're going to be working on during each segment of that day, so you can stay organized and say, okay, here's my 2 hours. I'm going to concentrate on lead generation, lead follow-up, and you will get on the dialer and you'll call all the leads that have come in through your website or however you're generating them. And then the next segment of your day is, okay, I might generate, do an hour today of generating content for my YouTube channel, of information on moving to your city and that kind of stuff. And then the other segment is, open house, right? And be available to meet buyers and sellers on the weekends during open house. So I think, we get into this business, right? And we don't really have a boss. We don't really have someone that's really saying, okay, you have to show up at this time and then you can leave at this time. It's on us. And, joining a team might help with accountability and kind of reporting back to someone that's kind of looking over what you're doing to help you and coach you. But a lot of agents that don't do that, you're really your own boss and you're in charge of yourself, which is great in concept, but it can be very easy to spend all day, scrolling through social media, and you look at the end of the day and you haven't done anything, right? So I think that's really important, is like have metrics that you're wanting to hit every day, whether it be, we talk about on our team, like we want to hit 10 contacts a day, and then check in with one another to see if we've hit those 10 contacts, right? And have those metrics in place and have a schedule of what you're going to be doing each day, and make sure every day you're in massive action.
You're absolutely correct. Have a plan, lean into your mentors, make sure that, you're not setting your expectations too unrealistically. You have to get out there. You have to hustle. You have to generate that business. It does not come so easily. It has been done, but not without trial and error and a lot of hard work. So Gabe, what is the Icon Award to you? What benefits did it bring you? What kind of production did you have to do in your market to get there? And for the cultural piece, how are you giving back? Are you teaching? Are you mentoring? What is the Icon Award through Gabe's eyes?
Yeah, no, I think, look, for those of us that are selling real estate and focused on that, the Icon Award was so amazing, because I've always been used to getting like a plaque or a trophy from my broker at the end of the year, right? For hitting certain production standards. I've never been with a company that's rewarded you with actual stock in the company, just for doing what I was already going to be doing, for myself and my team and my family anyway, which is selling real estate at a high level. So to get that extra, up to $16,000 in stock incentive in the company, which is a company that I believe in so much, seeing the growth of it and what's happening, that goes right towards my retirement. I'm not selling it. I'm holding that. And
For sure.
It's probably pretty common that you hear that real estate agents are notorious for two things: not saving for taxes and not saving for retirement, right? So to have this kind of built-in mechanism where we can earn that icon award and earn stock incentives amongst just earning stock for doing other things like doing your first deal a year, also sponsoring an agent that then does their first deal, that kind of stuff all adds up over time. And it's pretty incredible to create like a nest egg for your future retirement.
100%, it is. And you're right, the notorious, not saving for the taxes and not saving for retirement. And those are some things that EXP has to offer here, not necessarily a 401k, but an opportunity for you to make what you want out of that nest egg, which is really cool. And that Icon Award, getting your cap back. Tell me another brokerage that gives you that opportunity. I don't believe that there is one.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think your other question was how I'm giving back. I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning on teaching some classes in EXP University.
Awesome.
And probably teach some classes on breaking into the luxury market or potentially working with investors or developers, because that's a niche that I've created for myself as well. So there's some different courses that I'll be teaching within the EXP world.
That's great, Gabe. And that being said, if you want to do a spin-off episode on the Icon podcast about things that you'll be teaching as far as like teasers or summaries of the classes that you'll be doing, so that you can share it on your social media so that people can, make sure to tune in, or whatever else in between, just make sure to email me and we'll get you back on this show. It's a free podcast, so you might as well keep that tool in your back pocket. But that's great. Those are definitely some niche markets that people are interested in getting into. They don't always know how. And that's another cool thing about EXP is that these EXP University classes, this EXP world, they're taught by Icon agents, that is the best of the best in the industry.
Yeah, and that goes back to the collaboration coming from the top down, right? Because the way the company has been designed is to get agents that are at the top of the game teaching other agents within the company how they became successful and the things that they've done. So, you talk about education. I've also never seen, out of all the brokerages I've ever been to, I've never seen the amount of education that's literally available to agents on a daily basis if they want to just tap into it, right? So that, you've got agents that sell, hundreds, if not thousands of homes a year, have built mega teams or have a niche of luxury or this or that will go in and teach other agents exactly what they've done and what they do on a daily basis. And that's just available at our fingertips to just log in and tap into.
Truly, and EXP has always been ahead of the curve, right? So they were using the metaverse before COVID and before work from home, and this technology, they've really got it down packed. And for my final question, Gabe, there are people out there and they're sitting on the edge. They see the greener grass at EXP, but they're scared to make the jump. How would you advise them to not be so skeptical? What would you have to say to somebody that's like, well, EXP is a cult. I'm not making that jump. You guys are crazy. But I mean, it sounds too good to be true. What would you have to say to somebody like that?
I think when you research it long enough, and look, we speak to people regularly that love the idea and concept of it, but we're always so busy, right? And to think about throwing in a move of our brokerage into the mix, it sometimes like puts us on overload, right? And we think we can't handle anything more on our plate. The reality is the transition to a new company, it doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. We've been onboarding. We just onboarded a $100 million team to EXP in our organization last week, and within a couple of days they're up and running, right? So it doesn't take that much disruption. You can prepare for it ahead of time with getting your branding and your logos and all of that done on your marketing material, and then when you're ready to make the move, you jump. But the other thing I would say is that if you look at who this company has attracted, there's some of the smartest business people that I've seen in this industry. And if they've vetted this opportunity, I mean, you've got agents, like I said before, that are selling $500-600 million a year in real estate and have built mega teams, right? These are very savvy business people. I consider myself a savvy business person as well. I tend to also be a little bit on the analytical side too. So when I looked at the model and I didn't make a quick decision, like I'm kicking myself that I didn't say yes to EXP the first time, which was a year prior to me joining, right?
Yeah.
Learn from some of us that have already kind of walked in the footsteps ahead of you. If this was just a cult or a pyramid scheme, like some of our, competitors like to call it, there wouldn't be this level of talent being attracted to the company. So I think I would just dig deep, look at some of these different things that I've talked about, and if it's a fit for you, and it's not going to be a fit for everyone, but if it's a fit for you, then you should give it a serious look and come on board with us.
Yeah, what do you have to lose by asking questions? These icon agents are some of the best to reach out to. Utilize this podcast, listen to more, listen to what people have to say about this EXP and those who are sitting on the edge, because there's a lot to be learned over here, and it's a big, big change, but it's in the best way. But, like you said, Gabe, it's not the right fit for everybody.
Definitely.
Well, Gabe, I think this has been a wonderful episode. Is there anything that you feel like you've left unsaid that you'd like to touch on in our last couple of minutes?
No, I don't. I think, I love that you guys are putting out this content. I've been doing the same thing myself. I've created a separate YouTube channel for kind of agent education. It's called The Strategic Agent. I would love to have you and Justin on my podcast sometime soon in the near future, and talk to you guys and learn how you've, not only done the real estate side, but also the virtual assistant side. And you guys offer a tremendous service there. But I think putting content out there and education can work on both the agent side as well as attracting consumers to your brand, right? Because they form this parasocial relationship with you when you're out there and you're educating and you're kind of just doing your thing, but you're going to attract your tribe, right? So let's say you're putting out content for buyers and sellers. If they like what they're seeing and it resonates with them, they're going to be contacting you and they're going to feel like they know you before you even show up to the appointment. So I think what you guys are doing with the Icon podcast, agents can do the very same exact thing in their real estate business and attract buyers and sellers by doing this. So I'm a big proponent of that.
Of course, and in the EXP world, tools like this podcast, can even be used for recruits or people that, you're trying to get to join your team, and letting them get to know you without the pressure of sitting across from them at the lunch table, which is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Gabe, thank you so much for your time today. And I mean it about the spinoff podcasts. If you want to do another episode, just send me the questions to ask you, and we'll get that content cranked out. But in the meantime, just thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing you at Shareholders and EXPCon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Gianna.
Thanks, Gabe. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.